Story 1. The Man Who Walked in My Footsteps. Imagine you're walking home through a silent winter forest. Your dog suddenly freezes and growls at something behind you. And when you turn around, there's a 6.5-foot man standing 3 feet away, perfectly still, as if he has been following your exact footprints for the last 2 kilometers without you ever noticing. My name is Lauren. I'm 29, 5'3" on a tall day, and I've been profoundly hard of hearing since I was 7. I live in a small cul-de-sac in Rivière-du-Loup, eastern Quebec, where the last row of houses backs directly onto a dense pine and birch forest. The neighbors all know each other. Kids sled down the hill in winter. In summer, we have block barbecues. It's the kind of place where people don't lock their doors, or at least it used to be. I have a dog named Rex, 95 pounds of black Malinois Rottweiler muscle with a heart bigger than his head. He is my ears when I'm outside. If something is wrong, he tells me before I ever see it. It was February 14th, roughly a year and a half ago. The holidays had finally ended, and I was emotionally and physically spent from traveling to see family in Montreal and Ottawa. All I wanted was quiet. That afternoon, the sky was the color of tarnished silver, the temperature a brutal -18. A light, dry snow had fallen the night before. 10, maybe 12 centimeters of perfect powder that muffled everything and turned the forest into a monochrome dream. I pulled on my warmest parka, grabbed the new high-powered binoculars my brother had given me for Christmas, clipped Rex to his leash, and we set off. The second we turned the corner toward the trailhead, he started his usual happy dance, spinning in circles, whining, tail helicoptering. I laughed and let him off the lead the moment we crossed the invisible line between suburb and wilderness. For the first 30 minutes, everything was perfect. The only marks in the snow were a couple of old cross-country ski tracks and some scattered dog prints from the morning. The sun sat low, bleeding orange between the trunks, turning every breath into a cloud of diamonds. I felt the tension of the past weeks melting away. At a fork, I decided to take the less traveled path that leads to a little meadow. I knew it well. It's where the pileated woodpeckers nest, and I wanted to test my new binoculars. When I reached the clearing, I stopped, lifted the glasses, and slowly swept the tree line. That's when I saw it. A dirty olive-green tarp lashed between 2 trees, a crude lean-to half collapsed under the weight of snow. Someone had been living there. Smoke stains blackened the inside of the tarp. A small pile of frozen garbage lay nearby. I felt a flicker of curiosity mixed with unease, but the light was already failing. Sunset in February comes early, and I didn't want to be out after dark. I lowered the binoculars, called Rex, and started back. That's when his behavior changed. Usually Rex races far ahead, circles back, repeats. Now he stayed close, head low, ears forward, hackles half raised. He kept sniffing the same patch of snow over and over, then looking back the way we had come. I followed his gaze and felt my stomach drop through my boots. In the center of the trail we had just walked was a single line of enormous boot prints. Size 14, maybe 15. The tread pattern was deep and aggressive, completely different from my own Sorel Pack boots. What made my blood freeze was that these new prints were walking exactly where my prints had been, stepping deliberately inside each of mine, erasing them. There were no side trails, no deviations. Whoever made them had passed within meters of me while I stood motionless in the clearing, staring through binoculars, deaf to the world. I knelt down, heart hammering. My prints were tiny inside these giants, like a child walking in an adult's footsteps. I turned my boot over to compare the sole pattern. Nothing alike. The realization hit me in waves. Someone had been that close watching me, and I never knew. I called Rex in a voice that sounded far away and started walking again, faster now. The forest that had felt so peaceful 10 minutes earlier now felt alive with eyes. Every dark gap between trees looked like it could hide a silhouette. The wind picked up, hissing snow against my cheeks like tiny needles. Halfway home, Rex suddenly planted all 4 feet, spun around, and began barking furiously, not ahead, but directly behind me. The sound vibrated through my chest even though I couldn't hear it properly. I turned. He stood in the middle of the trail, maybe 2 meters away, 6'5" at least. Dark insulated overalls, white and gray camouflage parka with the hood up, hands buried deep in his pockets. He was perfectly still, like a statue someone had placed there. His face was in shadow, but I could feel his stare. His mouth was moving. He was speaking or muttering, but the light was almost gone, and I couldn't read his lips. I raised both gloved hands, palms out, and shouted first in French, then English. "Je suis sourd. I'm deaf. I can't hear you." My voice cracked. He didn't flinch, didn't step forward, didn't step back, just kept staring. The longer he stood there, the more the cold seemed to sink into my bones. I backed away slowly, calling Rex, never turning my back. The man never moved, never took a step, but he didn't leave either. He simply watched until the trail curved and the tree swallowed him. I ran the last kilometer home. By the time I locked the door, it was pitch black outside. My hands shook so badly I could barely get the key in the lock. I laughed at myself, shaky, told myself he was probably just a homeless guy who got startled by Rex's barking. I fed Rex, poured a large glass of red wine, turned on every light in the house, and tried to pretend the whole thing was over. At 3:12 a.m., Rex woke me by licking my face frantically and pawing at my arm. I thought it was morning until I saw the clock. My phone was buzzing with messages from Marie, my neighbor across the street. "Lauren, are you okay? Rex is going absolutely insane. He's barking at your backyard like he wants to kill something." I stumbled downstairs in socks, heart already racing. Rex was at the sliding glass door to the backyard, every muscle rigid, roaring in a way I had never heard before. The motion sensor floodlight snapped on. The man from the forest was standing in my yard, 10 feet from the door, staring straight into the house. Same white camo jacket, same empty expression. I screamed, dropped the phone, and somehow managed to type 911 while backing away. I grabbed Rex's collar with one hand and dragged him upstairs, then pulled the aluminum baseball bat I keep under the bed. I'm small, but I trained in Krav Maga for 6 years. Still, the smartest fight is the one you avoid. I sat on the top stair with Rex pressed against my side, bat across my knees, staring at the bedroom door. Minutes stretched into eternity. I kept picturing the glass downstairs shattering, kept hearing phantom footsteps on the stairs. At one point, Rex lunged at the closed door snarling, and I saw a shadow slide slowly across the gap at the bottom, deliberate, unhurried. The police arrived 23 minutes later. They found the sliding door smashed inward, snow blowing across my kitchen floor, the back gate hanging open into the forest. No footprints leading away, just one perfect set coming straight to the house, as if he had walked backward into his own prints to hide the exit. They searched the shelter the next day. It was abandoned, but inside they found a single Polaroid photo pinned to the tarp with a hunting knife. A picture of me and Rex walking away from the camera, taken that same afternoon from the exact spot where I had first seen the shelter. On the white border, someone had written in black marker, "See you tonight." There was never an arrest. I installed cameras, motion lights, reinforced doors. I moved 6 months later. I still have that Polaroid in a police evidence bag. Some nights when the wind howls against my new apartment windows in Montreal, I swear I can feel someone walking in my footsteps again. Story 2. The phone that wasn't Dad. He knew exactly what time our bedroom light went out. He knew because he was perched in the oak tree outside with a hunting rifle, and 6 hours earlier he had used my own father's stolen phone to lure my little sister and me into the freezing woods alone. My name is Ava. I was 17, my sister Lily was 16, and we lived in a small town just outside Madison, Wisconsin. Dad worked as a site supervisor for a logging company deep in the Chequamegon-Nicolet National Forest, 45 minutes from anywhere. On December 8th, we decided to skip the last 2 periods of school and catch an early showing of a new slasher film everyone was hyped about. We looked older than we were, tall, makeup on point. So getting into an R-rated movie at noon was easy. Halfway through the film, during the quiet part right before the big kill, my phone started vibrating so violently it sounded like a chainsaw in the theater. 20 heads swiveled. Mortified, I scrambled over seats, tripped, and Lily and I stumbled out into the lobby laughing from pure embarrassment. Missed call, Dad. Then a text. Hey kiddo, the snack shack is closed today because of the cold. Any chance you and Lil could bring me a sandwich and some hot coffee? I'll Venmo you gas money. Love you. Totally normal. Dad forgot lunch constantly. We drove home, made thick turkey and bacon sandwiches, threw in chips, cookies, 2 thermoses of coffee, and headed out. The drive to the logging road was gorgeous. Rolling hills blanketed white, pine trees heavy with snow. The sky a cold, perfect winter blue. We sang along to Christmas music and laughed about how Dad was probably freezing his butt off. When we reached the gravel parking area, I called him, straight to voicemail. A tiny flicker of unease, but I brushed it off. Texted, "Here with food. Where are you?" Typing bubbles appeared almost instantly. "Walk down the hill to the pond. I'm on the fishing dock fixing a tip-up. Come say hi, it's beautiful." Winter sunsets come fast. By now the light was turning golden orange, long shadows stretching across the snow. We followed the trail down the steep hill, boots crunching, giggling about how Dad was probably ice fishing again even though the lake was barely frozen. At the bottom was a small wooden dock jutting out over the half-frozen pond. A figure sat on the bench at the end, back to us, wearing Dad's exact black Carhartt jacket, black beanie, and the red and black plaid scarf Mom knitted him last Christmas. "Dad!" I shouted. My voice echoed off the hills. No response. He didn't even turn his head. Lily slowed down. Why isn't he turning around? I felt the first real prickle of fear, but forced myself forward. I reached out and pulled the hood down. The face that whipped around wasn't Dad's. It was a man in his late 30s, unshaven, eyes bloodshot and way too wide, grinning like he'd just won the lottery. He started waving Dad's phone at us triumphantly. Lily screamed first, high and piercing. I grabbed her sleeve and we ran. Behind us, I heard boots pounding the snow, gaining fast. The hill was steep. We slipped and clawed our way up, lungs burning, legs screaming. I didn't dare look back until we reached the car. He was maybe 15 feet behind, still smiling, not even breathing hard. I reversed so hard the bumper scraped snow. He walked right up to my window, crouched down so his face filled the glass, and mouthed something slow and deliberate. I couldn't hear it, but I read his lips clearly. "See you at home." Then he just vanished into the trees. We got home to find both parents in the kitchen. Dad's phone had been stolen from his unlocked truck at the job site 2 hours earlier. He'd come home early because he couldn't call anyone. The police recovered the phone from the dock an hour later. Case closed, they said. Nothing stolen except the phone, No laws broken by luring us, just a prank. That night at 12:47 a.m., I got a single text from a block number. Your room looks so cozy with just the TV glow. Blue walls, right? I killed the TV. Dead silence. Then faint scratching on the siding outside my second-floor window. I crept to the blinds and peeked through a tiny gap. He was in our oak tree, 15 feet up, balanced on a thick branch, staring straight at me. A hunting rifle rested on the branch, aimed at my window. The first shot took out the glass and the lamp beside my bed. Shards exploded across my room. My parents burst in as the second and third shots blasted through the downstairs patio door and the kitchen window. We barricaded in Mom and Dad's room, while Lily called 911 with shaking hands, tears streaming. When police finally arrived, they found a tiny GPS tracker magnetically attached to the underside of my rear wheel. Well, that's how he followed us home. That's how he knew which window was mine. That's how he knew the color of my walls. He was never caught. For months, I slept with the lights on and a knife under my pillow. Some nights, I still wake up convinced I hear boots crunching through snow beneath my window, or the soft scrape of someone climbing the oak tree again. Story 3, the head on the seat. You crash your car in a blizzard on an empty forest road at 2 a.m., and while you wait for help, you hear something in the dark slaughtering an animal with wet, ripping sounds. Then you find a freshly severed elk head placed upright on your driver's seat, staring at you, while the rest of the body has vanished without a trace in less than 5 minutes. December 27, 2021. I was living in Albany, New York, working remotely through the worst of COVID. My parents live way up near Old Forge in the Adirondacks, and I was already 4 hours late for our postponed family Christmas. I finally escaped a nightmare Zoom call at 7:30 p.m., threw an overnight bag and 2 thermoses of coffee into my ancient 2007 Honda Civic, bald summer tires, no ABS, a total death trap in winter, and hit the road. By the time I reached the Northway, the storm was apocalyptic. Visibility under 20 feet, wind rocking the car, plows nowhere in sight. I was an idiot for driving. I made it to my parents' place around 10 p.m., exhausted but happy. We ate, drank way too much of spiced rum and eggnog, exchanged gifts, played cards. I completely lost track of time. When I finally looked at my phone, it was 1:45 a.m., and another foot of snow had fallen. I was lightly buzzed and bone-tired, but convinced myself I could make it home. The roads were empty, eerie, the world reduced to tunnel vision between swirling walls of white. I was doing maybe 45 on County Route 28 when I hit a patch of black ice going into a sharp curve. The car fishtailed violently. I overcorrected, tires screaming, and the next thing I knew, I was sliding sideways into the woods. Crunch. Front end into a massive oak, airbag exploding in my face, engine dead. I sat there stunned, tasting blood where I'd bitten my tongue. Miraculously, I could move everything. The car, however, was finished. Hood crumpled like tinfoil, steam hissing into the snow. Roadside assistance said minimum 90 minutes, probably 2 hours. I called my dad. He grumbled but said he'd throw on boots and come sit with me. While I waited, the wind howled so loud it sounded like screaming. Then underneath it, I heard footsteps, slow, deliberate crunching in the deep snow. I rolled the window down an inch. Nothing. Closed it again. Then a new sound, wet, rhythmic, obscene, like someone eating raw meat with their hands, tearing and slurping. I grabbed my mag light and stepped out. 25 yards away, just inside the tree line, something big was crouched over another shape on the ground. I saw frantic movement, a flash of antlers catching my flashlight beam. An elk. The thing on top of it was ripping, tearing, shaking its head side to side like a dog with a toy. Dark splashes arced against the snow. I shouted. The ripping stopped instantly. Whatever it was went perfectly still. I waited 10 seconds, 20. Nothing moved. I got back in the car and locked the doors. Less than a minute later, something hit the passenger window hard enough to rock the entire car. Snow covered all the glass. I couldn't see what threw it. I got out again, pistol in my hand now. New York permit, Glock 19 in the glove box. And that's when I saw the boot prints. They circled my car 3 full times, then walked straight to the driver's door and stopped. A perfect ring of tracks and fresh blood dripping from the driver's door handle onto the snow. I followed the blood trail into the woods. It led to the elk, or what was left of it. Stomach torn open, entrails steaming in the cold air, head completely gone. No drag marks, no other footprints except the ones leading away from my car. I ran back. When I opened the driver's door, I almost vomited on the spot. The elk's severed head was sitting upright on my seat, facing forward like a passenger waiting for me to drive. Its eyes were still wet and reflective. Blood pooled on the upholstery and dripped onto the floor mat. Steam rose gently from the neck stump. I screamed, backed away, and just started running down the road with my gun in my hand like a lunatic. Headlights appeared through the blizzard, my dad's pickup. I dove into the passenger seat, babbling. He thought I was drunk or having a psychotic break until we drove back and saw the blood-soaked seat in the circle of prints. By then the head was gone. So was the elk carcass. Only long drag marks leading deeper into the forest, as if something huge had pulled both away in the 4.5 minutes we were gone. Dad believed me after that. We waited for the tow truck in his heated cab, saying almost nothing. I never filed a police report. What would I even say that wouldn't make me sound insane? Sometimes on long winter drives, I still smell wet fur and hot blood in my nose, even though I sold that Civic years ago. And every time the wind howls through the trees at night, I hear it again, that wet, ripping sound. And I wonder if whatever did that is still out there, waiting for the next person to get stuck alone on a dark, snow-covered road.